Revise Lady Macbeth with me, part 2, Unsex Me Here. The previous video covered Lady Macbeth's first words in the play. Now I'm going to move on to the next part of her soliloquy, all taking place in Act 1, Scene 5. You'll find a copy of the speech in the description if you want it. You can revise with me by annotating a copy or simply writing out your quotations and exploding them. Before we get going, the usual YouTube business, please do subscribe to help out the channel. It does make a difference. Right, let's get down to business. Shakespeare uses this scene to allow us to see inside Lady Macbeth's mind. Soliloquies are only useful if the character has an interesting mind. If I had a soliloquy, it would probably be about what I want for lunch, but Lady Macbeth is much more interesting because Shakespeare fills her words with malevolent spirits. At this point in the play, Lady Macbeth knows two things. 1. The witches have prophesied that Macbeth will be king, and 2. The king is on his way to their castle in Inverness. Lady Macbeth is presented as a woman whose ambition is fired and her mind is made up to commit regicide. Remember, this is the first time we see her. Shakespeare opens a soliloquy with the ominous raven himself, not just any raven. The raven clearly has significance, symbolizing the coming death of Duncan. The alliterative raven himself is hoarse, shows the fury of the noise the raven is making. To Lady Macbeth, the omen is unavoidable and will be heard. The croaking acts as an alarm, an augury of evil, signalling the supernatural overtones of the speech. The word fatal has two meanings, not only deadly, as she intends for Duncan to die, but also divined by fate. It's predetermined for her that this opportunity should come. The battlements are not the battlements, but my battlements. The possessive pronoun signalling her growing power and the first step outside of the natural order, the great chain of being that determines that everything should have its place. She claims the castle, claims the power, and that decision is hers. It's her first real step towards creating the chaos in Scotland that inevitably comes from her deciding who should be king. After all, that would be God's choice, and not for the likes of her to interfere with. The second sentence dives straight towards the sinister. She begins with the imperative, "Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts." She's invoking the evil spirits that kill because she wants the power to make it happen. The audience is making a link between her evil words to the evil spirits and those words of the witches at the very start of the play. And it's this invocation, this calling to these spirits, and the invocations that follow that mean you want to bring this up in any discussion of the supernatural. If the word supernatural means beyond nature, the next words speak of escaping the natural order entirely. Unsex me here is a command to those evil spirits, commanding them to yield her the power that she understands as masculinity, the power to kill and attempt to order the world through violence. An audience would be shocked by this blatant defying of the contemporary ideas around gender roles. It's hard not to generalize in this, but in Jacobean society, women were generally expected to be gentle, compassionate, and nurturing. Unsexing herself implies rejecting these feminine qualities. This boldness in wanting to be more masculine and aggressive would have been shocking. She goes further, though, and repeats the imperative, demanding the spirit's attendance again, saying, "Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall." I'm not a Jacobean groundling standing in the pit of the globe, but I'm still impressed with how evil she gets here and how determined she is. She wants to be the mother of the evil spirits. She wants to nurture them and allow them to grow. She takes the outward appearance of her femininity, her breasts, and weaponizes them. She wants her breast milk to be replaced with gall or bile, that sickening bitter liquid you might have tasted if you've been particularly sick. She breaks down the nature of the cruelty that she wants. She demands that the spirits fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. This is an interesting statement because it starts at the top. The word crown is a reference to the top of her head, but carries that other meaning of the object that she desires, the crown itself, as she becomes queen and Macbeth becomes king. She wants to be filled from the crown to the toe, so top to bottom, but then Shakespeare adds the final detail of topmost. It's almost as if the character wants double portions of evil, second portions for her, down from the top to the bottom and back up again. That's a Lady Macbeth-size portion, but it's not just any old cruelty she demands, it's the superlative direst, the very worst kind with the worst consequences. Lady Macbeth is a self-aware character, a self-aware villain, and at this moment, the audience can see that she knows exactly what she wants. The final beckoning is, "Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell." This is a demand for the spirits of the night. The word pall means to cover up and disguise, which you can link to Lady Macbeth's desire to look like the innocent flower while being the serpent under it, the advice that she gives Macbeth later. But it also links to the pall of a funeral, the cloth over the coffin that we still hear in the term pallbearers, those people who carry the coffin and by extension the cloth over it. At this point we're getting a speech full of dark spirits and death. But what does she want to hide it from? The answer's in the last line. She wants to hide from heaven because she knows it's wrong, and she doesn't want anything to stop her, not even God. There's more that we could say, so look over the parts I haven't highlighted or commented on. What would you say here? Are there links to Macbeth you could add, or the witches? There is a lot of information here. To take your revision further, make flashcards of the key quotations I've discussed, create a mind map for Lady Macbeth, and tell me in the comments what else you want to explore with the play.